Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are back again today with another fabulous instructor from Secret Garden. Today, we are welcoming Dawn Woleslagle. Thank you so much for joining us, Dawn.
Thank you for having me.
Are you getting excited for the retreat now that you have the products in your hands?
Yeah, I was excited actually before that because I got to see a little sneaky peek of where it was going. So I was excited from the get-go.
And it's exciting too, because you guys had input this time into suggestions for products. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes, we did.
That really ties to your background as well. So you got to bring that. Did it feel good to bring that kind of back in to creating product again?
Yeah, actually, I was extremely flattered that Tasneem asked for my input as she did with all of the designers. I wish I would have been able to give more input than I was able to because of the timing. I was able to express the things I would like to see, but unfortunately this time around I wasn't able to actually give any designs. So, hopefully
Gotcha.
maybe in the future, the stars will align.
Yes, you never know, because everything you do is gorgeous. Cards, products, anything you do, absolutely stunning. So we are so honored to have you joining us for this event.
Oh, I appreciate all those lies. No.
It's all the truth. And so make sure, if you haven't signed up yet, Dawn brought a code today. It's Live Dawn. And if you use that at checkout for the Secret Garden Retreat, you will save money on that. And what is the Secret Garden Retreat? If you are not familiar, it is now 2 days. It used to be 1 full day. Now it's 2 fun-filled days of 6 instructors, 6 classes. And this time we have a bonus class a couple weeks later, which is very exciting, something new for us. Lots of new things happening at this retreat, but same quality, same grouping, same community, same everything there. But we have Dawn, of course, is one of the instructors. We have Christina Warner, Tasneem, one of the co-founders, who we will have a live with tomorrow at 3. So make sure to tune into that. And I'm saying make sure to tune into that because Tasneem may have some fun information for you. So make sure 3 p.m. tomorrow to tune into Tasneem's. She will be the final live that we have. So you never know what Tasneem might share during that live. Just saying, just putting it out there. Then we have Yana, we have JC, and we have Mindy for the 2-day event. And then, of course, we have Jennifer McGuire for that fabulous live that will come on May 18th. So I'm very excited. Oh, good. We have lots of people already signed up. We love to hear that. We love to see friends old and new joining us there. 2 times the fun. Yes, I love that. And it is great because usually halfway through the first day, you're kind of sad that it's ending. You're like, oh, you wait so long for this day to come and you're kind of sad, but now we have 2 days. So, that first day you're like, oh, it's good. We're good. We got another day of fun to go. And then we still have Jennifer McGuire coming later. So really stretching out lots of crafty fun. Speaking of crafty fun, we're going to have some crafty fun with Dawn today. So do you want to you want to make something fun and pretty today?
I would love to make something fun and pretty.
Yay! Okay, so we're going to turn on Dawn's desk camera there, and we'll switch off, and we'll bring Dawn's beautiful face back towards the end, at the end, but for now, and then we're going to switch over. There we go. Put me, so I'm tiny there. Oh, good. You guys are getting rain in Southern California. Excellent. Oh, no, Geraldine, it's still snowing. Ugh. We got a dusting this morning. I have to go shovel again. I was shoveling yesterday too, so hopefully Dawn doesn't have snow. Oh, we can't. Oh, hold on. Can't hear you. There we go. Oh, that's why. That's what I did. There we go. I was like, why can't we hear Dawn? That's why. Okay.
Okay, can we hear me?
Yes, there we go. Yes, and the reason Dawn lives in a warm climate, so that's why we don't want Dawn having snow.
Yes, unfortunately, though, we had a very, very cold snap on the north side here of where I'm at in Florida. They actually did have snow.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and then we in Pensacola, they actually had snow that lots of snow.
Oh, that's weird, wild, wacky stuff. Mother Nature is whoo. You are backwards.
Am I?
Your screen, yes. Yep. Your leafy splendor words are backwards.
Well, I'm not sure what to do about that.
There should be on your phone. I don't know how
Uh-huh.
easy it is to do. Under the settings, there's a mirror button.
Okay, under the settings.
Yep.
Let's
I was trying to
see.
see if I could. I can't control it from here. Otherwise, I would fix it for you, but
I'm not seeing that under settings.
that's okay. That's okay. JC did it upside down. We'll do it backwards with Dawn.
Wow, this is strange because I'm using my front camera. I mean, the
Oh,
back camera, the regular camera.
that's very bizarre. Tomorrow, Tasneem's going to have to do like a headstand or something when she's crafting because JC already did upside down. You're doing backwards. Tasneem's going to have a degree of difficulty tomorrow.
I'm telling you, that is strange.
It is live television, folks, so hopefully everybody's okay. The names on the products aren't as important. We will get some links put in by our fabulous comment moderator there. So Leafy Splendor was actually, was that Secret Garden last year, I think.
It was actually okay. So because I owned my own company for so long, I did not have the opportunity to play with a lot of different companies. But I did. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I did try to play with as many different companies as often as I could. So unfortunately, that meant that, unfortunately for then, fortunately for now, I have more time to play with a lot more of the different companies' products. So I've only been able to really start delving into the Altenew product range the last year, and I feel like a kid in a candy store.
I was going to say, that was exactly what I was thinking. That was going to be my question. Do you just feel like a kid with like $1,000 and you're in the penny candy section? Like you just ready for so much fun.
Absolutely. I mean, I love to design. So, but I actually really love playing with other people's designs more than I like playing with my own. And I've said this before, it's almost like you look at it so long that you're then just sick of it. Like when you're designing it. And then when it comes time to use it, you're like, man, I'm bored of this now. Like,
and I can imagine sometimes too, after you've designed it, there's like, because I know when I make a card, there's always like one thing that I'm kind of like, you're bugging me, so I wonder when you design, is there a section too that you're like, when you look at it, you're like, oh, I wish I could have done this or that when it's all done.
All the time. And I'll talk more about that in a sec. Let me just talk about this 3D and embossing folder, and then what I was thinking, my direction, the products that I'm going to use. So I pulled out the Leafy Splendor 3D embossing folder because I think we established this last time we talked, Bridget. I know you are as well, kind of obsessed with leaves. I love leaves.
Yes.
I think they're incredibly versatile.
Yeah.
And then there's also the stencil here that will allow you to then easily add color to the 3D embossed image, which I thought was great. Sometimes it can be tricky to add color to your 3D embossing folders. There are definitely ways, and there's lots of videos out there, but this just makes it kind of like 1, 2, done. You know what I mean? It's just super easy. And then I wanted to pair it from something from the retreat this time, which is the One Go Friendship Flowers. So I decided that I wanted to pair it with these florals here because I thought, I've got that whole background that I can create those leaves with. Why not add some flowers to it? So I thought that those just naturally went very well together. Now, this does come with the stamp set in the retreat kit, but I'm not going to use that today. I'm just going to use the stencils and the die. Or the stencils and the die. I'm backwards. You're right, it is backwards.
That's okay.
I'm looking at it on the monitor over there and I'm like, it is backwards.
We're working through. It's okay.
Yeah, I am so sorry. I've done a lot of things in these lives because I do a live almost every Thursday night in my group on Facebook. And so I've had a lot of things happen and a lot of weird stuff, but I gotta tell you, I've never had it mirror on me. That is one thing I've never had it do.
I'm excited to be part of your memorable experience.
I know.
You got to put a positive spin on it, man. You just got to go with the flow.
Right. And then I noticed also that I usually set my camera up with my camera on the right side. And when I put it into the stand today, I put it on the left side, which is why I noticed I keep putting everything on the left of the camera because I'm used to the lens being in a different spot.
You're just going wild today.
I'm out of control, which, is very on brand for me because if you know me, don't try to control me.
Just let the crafting happen.
Yes. I'm like, you said what? Just because of that, I'm not going to do it. No. So what I like about these I call them open embossing folders, where they don't necessarily have a pattern that is going to completely cover the background, is that you can almost break your machine here.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, she doesn't have her plate. I
know, right? I noticed it. I noticed it in the nick of time.
Yes.
But what I like is that you can strategically place your paper in your embossing folder to get just sections of 3D embossing. You don't have to cover the entire background. So again, when you have a lot of open space like here, the design is not covering the entire folder. You have all these open areas. It allows you to reserve spots so that if you wanted to put a sentiment up here and you didn't want to have to die cut it, you could just stamp it directly on the panel there. So I really like that about these types of folders. So once you've got that
Beth said, help, I'm finding all things Altenew irresistible. Us too, Beth, us too.
Yes. I'm not kidding when I say that I'm excited to work with all of the Altenew stuff because I have long admired Tasneem's work and the Altenew line of products. I think that they're gorgeous. They're well thought out. And I think that what I really like about them is that they take into account the beginner crafter. Yeah. And then they also have enough product and enough flexibility for those who like to stretch it a little bit further and be a little more artistic.
Absolutely.
So I like that about their products. All right. So now I'm going to use the stencils here to just add some color to the background.
Now, are you when it's a simple coloring stencil, are you a simple coloring kind of gal, or do you like to add multiple colors into the simple coloring stencil?
Okay, so I'm only a simple coloring gal if I'm forced to be.
I'm with you. I'm so with you. Yes.
I like to, especially if I'm using a stencil, because I enjoy the artistic process so much that if I feel like if I can't put my own spin on it, then I don't get quite the enjoyment out of the crafty session that I was looking for.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing paint by numbers, which isn't bad. It's just not what fulfills me crafty wise.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about this is no matter where you're at, if you do like one color in a simple coloring stencil, it's going to be beautiful. If you want to put 4, 5, 6 colors in a simple coloring stencil, it's going to be beautiful. That's the great thing.
Exactly. And that is when I said I'm only simple coloring when I'm forced to, that would be in instances where time is of essence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like today. So I am going to do a rather simple coloring here. Now I rarely ever just do a flat solid color. So I will at least do a two-tone. And I almost always do a graduation of color with each color. So I'm never just fully filling it in with one flat, solid intensity of color. So you can see even here, I have it lighter here, darker here, even though this is my lighter color. When I come over it with a darker color, when I layer those colors, wherever I have a heavier saturation of the first color, it's going to automatically be darker and give me just a slightly different tone of, or a slightly different shade of the green. So I'll just come over and do the same thing. And then sometimes I don't always just go dark to light. Sometimes I will hit those tips with a dark, just so that it creates a highlight in the middle of the leaf and gives it that curved look.
Okay, so apparently the audio is cutting in and out.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will turn on my phone mic and I will turn off my computer mic.
Okay, give us just a second, guys. Technical technical things here. Thank you for letting us know, you guys out there in the crafty sphere. Thank you.
Okay, is that better?
That is really good. As far as I can hear, you guys let me know in the comments. I feel like Dawn's sitting next to me now.
Okay, awesome.
Let's see. Marilyn said it's cutting in and out, but I'm going to see if that was maybe an older comment there.
All right. Hopefully I'll talk for like a couple seconds here uninterrupted, and then we can assess whether the audio is actually cutting in and out, and maybe that will help. So yeah, we're going to do a lot of ink blending today. Stencils is something that I never got into when I was designing. So you guys are like ahead of me on stencils. Everybody, you at home crafting along, like you're like, that's old news, Dawn. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
That's okay. At least you found them. At least you found them. So it's quite an important question here. We asked Lydia in May, do you feel guilty about leaving the layering stamps behind? And because if you had to pick, is it layering stamps or is it stencils now?
I still do love my layering stencils. And my layering stamps. And the reason being is I like a lot of times, like you can do one layer cards with stencils, but a lot of the ways that they're set up now, you have to do like everything on one in order for the stencils to line up well, right? Otherwise, you're trying to shimmy it around and figure out what goes to what. But a lot of the times, to make it simpler, all your stamps will be on one, all your stencils will be on one. And then that will require you a lot of times to die cut all of them. And I am a fan of one layer cards. So that's one reason why I do still really find the value in the layering stamps.
I just feel bad. Like mine are so lonely. They're like looking at me like, have you forgotten about us? We're over here. Hello. Because the stencils are they're right next to me. They're right next to me. Oh, maybe we can
I can see Donna.
Donna asked, when will this stencil and embossing folder be in stock again? Hopefully soon. Make sure to hit the get notified button for it. It is. And the other thing that I love about embossing folders and stencils like this, like you were talking about the white space, but you can, oh, could you put the lid in view so they could see your colors? Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. No worries. Because you're backwards literally today because your camera and the camera.
I'm telling you, I apologize, everyone. Look, y'all, I've told a million times, people will be like, well, you're a professional. And I'm like, honey, there is nothing professional about this. And this right here is proof.
It's proof that the little crafting gnomes, man, they get out and they have a good time some days. So, and
I blame it all on technical.
Oh, yeah.
Technical glitches
Absolutely.
will get you every time, no matter how prepared you are. That technical glitch will get you.
And we have for the comment moderator, I'm not sure who's with me today. I think it's Han. Han, can you, Kimberly asked, is Altoon sold in England? I don't know the answer to that question. But the thing I love about this as well, you can make like 4 cards and moving that paper around in your embossing folder or with your stencil. It really, you get a little bit of a different look each time. Like you were talking about that white space. And yeah, look at this, guys. If you guys don't try 2 inks, just try 2 inks. Look at the depth and dimension you get. And this will even out and soak into the paper and be fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm like, middle of the screen, Dawn. There we go.
Okay, you're good.
And I do actually, if I can remember at the end, I will show you some different blends. Actually, I've got them right here.
Ooh.
So I can show you that real quick. So
Excellent.
this is that same folder, but this one is done with 2 different colors. So you've got the, offhand, I'm not positive which 2 colors I used here, but it was a blue and a green. So you can get that variation of color by using just 2 inks of different color, but I've kept them close to each other on the color wheel. So like a blue, green, and then a green. Gorgeous. And then here you can do it in a totally unconventional color combo. Like,
that is stunning. And I love your placement of the folder. I love everything. That is perfect.
Thank you. So yeah, there's a lot that you can do just with the inks and the ink blending. So that's one of the reasons that, again, when you said, do I prefer simple? Like never do I prefer simple.
The only time I really do the simple is if I put it behind, say I was going to use the stencil and just put something behind leaves, like maybe with a gray, flowers with like a gray or something, just as a, undertone. That's really the only time I use it simply. Even then, sometimes I can't help myself because it just looks so good with 2 colors at least.
Right. No, I understand. So I'm going to put this aside for now. Now this, I just said I don't do simple. But this card in its layout is going to be rather simple. But again, I make up for the simple layout by trying to add some interest in the actual application of the colors and things like that. So I usually try to create balance in my cards by, if I've got something busy going on in the technique, I'll keep the layout simple. And if the techniques are all very simple, well, then I can get a little busier with my layout. I'm about to wreck this packaging. True life crafting here.
Yes. Vicki, so this embossing folder and stencil, this is the old. So all of our instructors are doing an old kind of product suite and a new kind of product suite. So the old is the Leafy Splendor and the new is the One Go Friendship Flowers, which I have stenciled and die cut this, and it's stunning.
Okay, so remember earlier we mentioned that with stenciling, a lot of the times, like the stamp is all one, the stencil is all one, and the die is all one, which is great for ease of cutting. Look at y'all. What am I doing? So you can see here that this is going to, there's 4 different little clusters here, and this die will cut all of them at once. But what if you don't want to use all of them? What if you don't want to do all of them? What if you only want one? Well, then I'm going to just die cut one, and I'm just going to stencil the one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the one that I want to die cut, which in this case is, I already know, going to be, and let me double check before I make a liar out of myself, because I'm good at that too. This one right here, which is this one right here. So this is the one, if I line it up, you can see it kind of mimics that shape. That's the one I want to do. So I'm going to die cut this one from a piece of, I think I'm using the Nina Solar White 80 pound here. So I'm just going to pull in my die cut machine.
So Dawn,
yes.
While you're die cutting, Sheila said, I'm so happy there's a replay. I'm coming in so late. Love me anything, Dawn W.
Oh, thank you. You guys, if y'all only knew, if you only knew what a hot mess I am. I appreciate the love because it's nice to be loved when you are truly a hot mess.
But I think that's what we love because so are we, you know? So I think I think that's what we love is that we are too. And you show it so beautifully, you know, with projects. We see these beautiful projects and we know behind the scenes it may be a little chaotic, but you get these beautiful projects. So we love going on the journey with you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I do really appreciate that because yeah, I think a lot of you already know, and I've mentioned it. So I have anxiety. So it does help that you all as a community are super sweet. All right. And you make me feel comfortable, especially you, Bridget. You're so good at this. You make everybody feel comfortable.
Thank you so much. Mindy said that yesterday, and I said the irony is my aunt always says I'm on screech, like and I am soothing to people, so I'm like, hey, I guess it's good to be on screech, you know.
Well, I mean, I think so. I'm kind of what they call an extroverted introvert. So
yes,
I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Around people that I don't know or in situations where I am unfamiliar or uncomfortable or that raise my anxiety, right? You introvert to kind of protect yourself because you're like, my anxiety is going through the roof. Yes. But so I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of times I've noticed that people who are introverted, they do gravitate toward extroverted people because extroverted people help to draw the attention away from you.
My husband was a wicked extrovert. He knew everybody. He loved to go out. He loved to see people. And I'm like, can't we just stay home?
Right. My husband and me, we are the same way. That man, I love him. He is so extroverted.
Yes.
And I am just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good right here by myself. He's like, I work from home, as you know, and it'll be like the weekend. He'll be like, do you want to go somewhere? And I'm like, no, not really. I want to go out and work in my yard. That's what I want to do. And he's like, don't you get bored? And I'm like, honey, I enjoy my own company. So I'm using Sunray here to just put down a layer. This is the first layer. So you can see here that I've taken that first stencil and I just lined it up with that die cut. I don't even need to do all of this if I don't want to use it on this project. The nice thing having it there is you could do it now and save it for a future project. Yeah. But I know that I don't need to take all of that time to do all of that ink blending since this is all I need for this card. So it's just a way to show that, you know, a lot of the times you might shy away from doing a certain one because you're like, I don't want to have to do all of them. Well, you don't have to do all of them. Right?
No, absolutely. You got to do what works for you. And we have a couple of questions. I'm going to do Julie's. Julie said, have I been doing it wrong? I always stencil first, then die cut. I'm learning something new today. Yeah, this is fantastic. A fantastic technique. And as well, if there's a stencil that's kind of hard to line the die up, this is great because you've already die cut it and then you stencil it so it lines up perfect every time, which is great. And we do have a question that I think Dawn can answer perfectly, which is the retreat great for a beginner?
I believe that it is great for a beginner. I think that you're going to find projects that are all skill levels. Some of the projects like I'm actually really excited about my project. I haven't seen all the other projects, but my main project, I think this time we are also doing a main project and we're doing 2 make and take projects. So there's going to be
Oh,
lots of projects for you to look at and to create, right? So I made sure that my more involved project, even though, yes, it is still beginner friendly, I made sure that that was my main class project so that I could walk you through. Because a lot of the times, things are not as difficult as they may appear to be. It's all smoke and mirrors, people.
yeah.
It is all smoke and mirrors. Uh, when you break it down into simple steps and teach it in a way that is digestible,
Yeah.
it really is that easy. You might see something that looks really complicated, but when you break it down and you see its individual parts, you realize that, oh wait, it's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, at first glance, I'm really excited about mine because it does look advanced, but you guys, it is so easy.
you love those cards because those are the showstoppers, right? Those are the ones you give to your friends and they're like, oh my gosh, how did you do this? And you're like, oh, well, let me tell you, and when you're talking it up, and it was super simple when you break it down. The other great thing is these are all recorded. So in 10 years, if you want to go back and watch Dawn's card, you can. So if there are some cards that you are like, wow, I want to make that, I don't feel I'm there yet, you can just watch that card and you could make it later. The other great thing is there is a Facebook group that's only for participants of the retreat. You can actually talk to the instructors. So let's say you're trying to repeat what Dawn's doing here today. You could say to Dawn, I watched your YouTube live and I just can't get this to line up. And you send her a picture. She can give you feedback on that. You're working
Absolutely.
you're working with a stencil and it's not working, your layout, you don't like the look of it, you can post it. Everybody's going to come back in and be like, oh, have you tried this? Maybe this sentiment. It's so supportive in such a community. And I think that's one of the great things you get with this retreat is the community aspect as well.
Absolutely. I agree. You'll notice how I just peeled back the corner of that stencil. I was just checking the progress, right? Because first glance, it doesn't look like I really added much.
Yep.
And you're like, come on, you went with the same color over the same color. And how are you going to see that? Well, because they layer, you definitely
Oh,
can see that. So
stop.
by just pulling back and checking my progress, I can see, do I want to go darker or don't I want to go darker? Because once you go darker, yeah, you're not going lighter.
No. It's like checking the pork chop to make sure it's done, before you serve it to your husband. It's
Exactly. Exactly. Or, you let him cut into his first and then you go, oh.
oh,
And if it's not perfect here lined up, that's okay. That's another thing that I really like about these stencils
yes.
is they are very forgiving,
And
right? They're,
I felt like these flowers were too. Like I felt like
yes.
the flower, the image was very forgiving. So great for a beginner that's working with the stencils as well. Lucy would like to know, where are your weekly lives, Dawn?
I do them. I try to do it every Thursday night and at 8 o'clock, and that is in my Facebook group, W+9 Encourage Creativity.
There we go. I
It's
know. We
kind
need
of my
to,
motto. I just want to see everybody like just get creative. You don't have to be good. Like nobody comes out of the womb great at things, right?
no.
And we just scared to try because for some reason, as we age, we lose that fearlessness that we had as children, and we're afraid of not being great right away. It's like,
Yeah.
practice makes progress.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as perfect. That word should not even exist.
It shouldn't, because actually I prefer imperfections,
Oh,
which
look at that. Oh, that's stunning already. Oh, goodness.
yeah, I prefer the imperfections, which is why I'm such a huge fan of watercolor.
Yeah. Yeah, because watercolor, if you're a perfectionist, I don't think you can live in watercolor because watercolor is basically its own person and it's going to do what it wants to do. Just
Unless you are going to go the realism route with watercolor,
Yeah.
you should definitely, you and watercolor should not be in the same zip code if you are a perfectionist.
Yeah. because I had to let that go. Like, I'm like, but it doesn't look, it's got to go right in. And after a while, I'm like, you know what? No, you have to embrace the imperfection is beautiful, and you just have to embrace it and love it. And now I love watercolor. Now we're BFFs.
Right? There's
Oh,
just something fantastical about watercolor, the movement, the unexpected blends, and the more you try to control watercolor, it's like we're spirit animals or something. The more you try to control
yeah.
watercolor, the more obstinate it gets. See,
Yes.
that's why I love it so much. It gets me.
Yes. It's, and I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes you do have to walk away because you both just we just disagree, that song from the 80s. So you just have to walk away, and then you come back and you're friends again and you work well together. So it does that. Oh, we get this question a lot too. We have a lot of, everybody's loving all the organization stuff we've learned this week. So far, everybody wants JC to do an organization video. I agree. His organization is like on point. Julie would like to know, do you have a brush for every color or each color family?
I do not have I definitely do not have a brush for every color. I try to keep them in the same color family, preferably a light and a dark. But as y'all just saw me do earlier, I stuck my yellow brush or my purple brush, and no, my yellow. I stuck my yellow brush in the purple. So, I mean, I'm doomed from the get-go to try to even be that organized because, if there is a cup of water anywhere, a cup of coffee, a soda, I'm sticking my paintbrush in it. It happens. My brushes are going in the wrong ink because I'm grabbing the closest one to me. So I gave up on that aspiration a long time ago.
Yeah, and watercolor, I mean, how many times do you stick your brush in the coffee and you drink the watercolor water? I mean,
all the time. I've done it. I had to spit it right back out. I was like, oh my goodness.
at least they're non-toxic. That's the good thing. They've been tested, non-toxic. Excellent.
Yeah, most of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the alternate ones are non-toxic. So
there you go. Yeah, I'm bad at that. Organization, I will 100% tell you, I am not the one. I am not the one to come to for any organization tips.
no. I want to offer JC a trip to Maine. Be like, hey, we have Acadia National Park. It's gorgeous here. Ocean. He doesn't have ocean in Colorado. So I want to be like, I have the ocean. Like, could you come organize me? I will pay you. Like, because he is just so organized and fabulous. And I'm just not. I buy the stuff, and then for some reason it doesn't organize itself. So that's where it kind of ends. I have the stuff, and then I have the other stuff, but they just don't come together.
I would like I don't know. I don't even know that I want anybody to come in and organize me.
Oh.
I'm one of those that once you start putting things where they go, I don't know where they are.
Yes. Yes.
You can ask me for something that I put somewhere a year ago in a pile that looks totally nondescript, and how would you even remember that? And I will tell you exactly where it is in that pile. It's, halfway down that third pile over there. And if you went in there and moved it, that's not my fault.
It is so funny you said that. I did that the other day. I had literally a square of a piece of cardstock left over from an event from a year and a half ago. And I needed that specific color. It's all I had. And I walk over in the Craft Mountain #1 and literally just pull the file out, knew right where it was. Now, if it was organized, I probably never would have found it, but I knew right where that was.
Exactly. It's like, I don't need organized. Don't come organize me. Organizing me is going to make me less efficient, less effective.
I live in the chaos, man. I love the chaos. I'm creative in the chaos. I think if you took the chaos away, I think my creativity might just get up and go with it. Because like, I need it. I need it to thrive on that. Oh,
I agree. I thrive in creative chaos.
yeah.
Half of my ideas, 3/4 of my ideas, come to fruition through creative chaos.
Yeah.
I always compare it to if I sit here in a clean space and try to come up with something to do, I'm going to stay in here all day and do absolutely nothing. I have to get the stuff out. I have to start making a mess with it. I have to start creating with it. It's just how my brain works.
Yep. I'm the same way. If you clean my desk completely and I have a completely clean desk, I don't know what to do. Like, it's like somebody tied my hands and said, make a card. Like, I just don't know what to do. And so, yeah, I need inspiration around me. I just need it.
Same. So I totally get it. And there is no shame. And look, as long as you know yourself,
Yeah.
like if you want to be a creative little goblin with chaos all around, like do it, man. Just own it and love it.
I want to be a goblin.
I know.
That's what Debbie said. She said, some have a filing system, others have a piling system. Do what makes your heart happy. Yes, Debbie, yes.
I'm right there with you, hon. Yes. So for my flower centers, I'm going to come in here with this espresso. And now I know some of you might be like, but why are you going to do a brown center? I'm going to do a brown center because my sentiment is going to be brown. So I want to tie that in.
This is stunning. I mean, every time you lift it up, it looks more like you can touch those flowers and the colors. Now, are these some of your favorite colors, or did you just randomly pick them today?
So today I kind of funny. Again, if you have followed me long, you know that me and purple have never really gotten along.
Me too.
So now purple and I don't get along, but it happens to be a color that looks really good on me. I have like olive undertones in my skin, so red and purple look really good on me. But I have detested it for so long that, see, I'm even a rebel with myself. I have detested it for so long that I've forced myself to use it more as of late so that I can become comfortable with it. And just because, like, I don't know. I tell myself I hate it. And even myself is like, no, you don't. You really like it. Here, you should use it. Oh, yeah, I like that.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. It looks real. It looks like you have real roses on there. Oh,
You could definitely do a little bit more with it. You could add some color. Like if I wanted to at this point, I could lay down any stencil I wanted, lay it down again and add more depth. I could add a different color. Like if I wanted to kiss the edges of these petals, words are hard sometimes.
yes,
if I wanted to kiss the edge of these petals now with something like a blush or a rouge, I could totally do that, right? I could just take that. What is this? The first one? I could just take that, relay it down, reline it up because everything's there. So it's going to be pretty easy to do. Yeah. And maybe we'll just do it because I said it. So
yes, and somebody may not have seen this before. So they'll learn more techniques today.
Yeah. So I can come in with this blush now if I want. And now that I know what I have, now that I know where it's sitting and how everything looks, I can make these decisions, right? Do I want to go heavier with that color and really change the color of that particular area of the flower, push it more toward a corally orange? Or do I want to go super light? It's, now you have those creative options that you don't have to be scared to. You don't have those decisions that you're scared like it won't come out good because now you're not really doing something drastic. You're just kind of kissing it. And so you'll take more chances.
I think Han said it best. She said, lovely, crafting wizardry at its finest. I agree totally, Han. Absolutely.
Oh, you're so sweet. But look at this now, you guys. That little bit of blush. Where's my lens? There it is.
That's stunning.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
How it just kind of gave that color a little bit more depth there on that one. So it's those little subtle things that I like to put in there because they do add interest. And they're not hard to do. That type of interest is really easy to add. And if you have a very simple design, those kinds of things are going to pop. They're not going to get lost in the cluttered design.
Yeah.
So let's move these guys just a little bit of cleanup. Just a tiny bit.
You have to have the space to make the card. So yes. So somebody said just enough.
Just enough. All right. So now what we've got is we have our background here and we have our florals. Let me see. Where's that lens at? There we go. Move that to the center. Now we could just definitely pop that on top pop a sentiment on it and be done. That could be beautiful. So I've already stamped one of the sentiments included in one of the sets here. I don't remember, did JC show that set in his,
Nope.
the creative labels?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So I'll show you the die set. How's that?
You and JC are going to be tied now. JC has competition.
So there's these little creative labels, and then but see, this is just a little bit. The stamp set that goes with this has so much more, much more.
Yeah.
So I just was showing where this came from. So
it's literally a sneak peek of a sneak peek.
It is a sneak peek of a sneak peek. Look, I could put that right there and be done.
Stunning.
Right? But I mean, there's a ton of different things you could do. I don't know. Maybe I kind of like that. Maybe I want to do that. I don't hate it.
I say that too. And I'm like, shouldn't I love it? I'm like, I always go with, I don't hate it.
You know, I rarely love anything.
Yeah.
And I think that is because we are all our own worst critics, right?
Absolutely.
So how are we on time? Because I do have one that I had created and I can show us. Maybe I'll do that.
You still have like 15 minutes. You're good. You have plenty of time.
Okay. So we have that one. Now off camera, when I was kind of sussing out what I wanted to do, I did another version. But here what I did was I cut this apart so I could add it in 2 separate spaces. So you've seen me do this, so why don't I just, and then I had an extra little piece here from another one that I had tried. I can adhere that. So we could put together both of these cards.
Absolutely. I do. I love when you do Sandra, we're backwards today. We've done upside down. We decided to do backwards today, which translates into tech. Once the live started, we couldn't unmirror it, so it just mirrored. But I love being able to cut apart the arrangements as well, like you're doing over there. You really get so much more out of the set when you can do that.
Absolutely. I can't tell you, it's always makes me giggle. Now, sometimes it can be hard to cut your work. If you've worked hard on it, especially if it's like when I watercolor pieces and then cut them apart, that's when people usually gasp. But something like this, the stencil, the nice thing is, like, you could stencil a million of these. So who cares if you cut it up, right? Like,
it just means another crafty day. So nothing wrong with that.
Right? So one thing that I usually do, and y'all are probably wondering, like, Dawn, what are you doing over there? I do like to add a little bit of thickness or stability to my die cuts. And that is because I tend to use 80-pound cardstock for my images that I'm stenciling. And that is because I use the 80-pound, I use the Nina Super Smooth cardstock, not just smooth, super smooth. And it has like a little bit more coating on it. And I find that the colors, when you blend them, it just comes out really, comes out a lot more vibrant than other cardstocks. So because it is only 80-pound though, that means that I need to stack them. And just one is sufficient. If you wanted to really stack them, you could add more. But for me, I think the color payoff, the vibrancy, is worth that stacking. So pretty.
Stunning.
All right, so let's adhere that one in place. I'm going to grab some foam adhesive. And I do try to, because we're not level here, because we do have that 3D embossing, I try to put my foam tape in places that are not over embossed areas. And I'll show you what I mean there. So like right in here, this in here, I know is going to be a nice surface to put that. And then I can play around for far too long trying to decide exactly how I want this to face. But I mean, every little change in direction is going to give you a different look. It's the same thing, but do I like the way this cuts off right here? I like the way this hole opens up and nestles with that sentiment, but I don't quite love this straight line that creates right there because it looks odd. It looks like the card has two different areas, right? I usually like to break the plane. So bring that up and then back down. And then I can put that there, but I usually avoid putting sentiments in the center of a card too, because again, it cuts it in half.
Lots of great tips. Lots of great tips. We love these tips.
But this right here creates a nice little silhouette that mimics the way the B comes around. And then the H overhangs here, which marries these two items, which kind of gives them a whole circular motion. So I'm like, I think that's where I like it.
And that's the other great thing about coming to these events is for all the instructors, you get to kind of learn their process as they're going through. You get to ask questions through the chat. And we've had a couple of questions about the camera zooming in closer during class and things like that. So the sound will be great. We do not host the classes on the system that we stream with. So the classes all take place over Zoom. So we definitely, the instructors can zoom in on that day for you, or zoom out as the case may be, definitely. And again, you get the recordings forever, and you can watch them as many times as you want to. You get beautiful color PDFs that the instructors and our teams work very hard on, but they're gorgeous. You can purchase this kit through Altenew, and we do ship to Canada. It is the Secret Garden, and make sure that you use Live Dawn for a discount for attending Dawn's live. Dawn wanted to make sure to have a great discount for you guys during the live. And yes, Han, I agree. The detail work is next level. It's gorgeous. And I love that we're learning the tips and tricks and thought process that Dawn has.
Yeah, I've always stressed on the thought process. The whys. The whys are always important. It's actually something that I picked up from working in the corporate world. It was, and I've mentioned this before, but in other areas, we were evaluated on not only what we did, but how we did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I decided to start teaching, I had always thought about the what and the how, right? What we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And a lot of the stuff that I did, I was doing intuitively because I'm not formally trained in art. I guess a lot of people would say, just have an eye for it.
Yeah.
So when it came time to try to teach other people, it was really hard to tie back what I was doing to principles, or because I had never actually learned them. I was just doing them intuitively. So that's when I was like, well, how am I going to teach what I don't really, if I don't know why I'm doing it? And so then it was like, ding, ding, ding. I don't just need to teach what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. I need to teach why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I went and figured out, like, okay, I know I usually do this. Why does that turn out well? Why do I usually do it like that? And why does that work out well? Is because X, Y, or Z. And it usually traces back to some sort of design principle.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank goodness it landed that direction.
I know, right? So for this one, I am going to stack this a little bit because this, I can tell, I stamped this as just a trial piece. So I did it on not so great cardstock because I didn't plan to use it. So we're just going to roll with it.
You can always add another one on top on your beautiful cardstock as well.
That's true. That's true. I could always stamp out another one and then just put it right on top.
Donna, this stencil and die is exclusive to the retreat kit. So you would have to attend to the retreat to receive this stencil and die.
Yes. And I think you would have a wonderful time. I know that the instructors are wonderful people, but they're also extremely talented. Like I am so excited. Like I get nervous that I'm teaching in a class with Yana. Yana has always been my crafty unicorn. Like even when she was on my design team at one point, I would always refer to her as the crafty unicorn because there is nobody else like her. Her design skills are out of this world.
Yeah.
Her capacity to take on projects and to pump them out with the timing, the skill, and the quantity and the quality, like all of it, like never misses. And I'm like, you are a freaking machine, girl, because it's not just like you're pumping out mediocre stuff. It's like, it is good stuff.
Yes. I felt the same way seeing my name next to Yana's as well. So I completely, yep. When I saw my name next to anybody else's, I'm usually like, oh goodness. I take a deep breath.
Right? I mean, everybody's great, but I mean, for me, there's always that one person that you're like nervous to, like, oof, I'm going to be next to their work. Yeah. And for me, that's Yana. But I mean, she knows that. I've told her that.
And that's the thing that I think is funny to folks that in the crafty world is that we all have our crafty heroes. Like we all have them, Yep. So it's just fun when we get to play with our crafty heroes because you don't expect to ever get to craft with your crafty hero, but that's what Altenew is bringing you the chance to craft with 7 of your crafty heroes. Very exciting. Julie, Han, can you post that link in there one more time? Julie wanted to get some more information on that. Oh, Linda said she signed up. However, she still needs to do the last one. Oh, goodness.
Oh, no.
You're going to have lots of beautiful cards. I'll tell you that. The Cozy Comfort was a beautiful, beautiful retreat as well. So.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's pretty much, I think that turns out well. I would just have to put this on a card base. And then I could always add a little bit of bling or some glitter pens or something like that. I mean, you could, from here, make it your own.
Those new
But
pearls,
I think that these turned out really, really pretty.
Those new pearls would look fantastic on there. Oh,
absolutely. So yeah, now we have those 2 designs, both based off of using the exact same products. And I mean, the exact same techniques. Everything was the exact same. I just changed up how I used that one piece that we created.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's so many more pieces on that set.
Yes.
And
yes, so if you look at the actual,
we'll have Dawn show. I almost said Yana. We'll have Dawn show the sets that she showed. So she showed the One Go Friendship Flowers die set, which has a coordinating stamp set and stencil set, which is how she colored her flowers today. And it cuts it in one go, which we love because one less time to worry about cutting it out right, which is great.
Exactly.
And would you like to show the sneaker peeker of the die for the big hugs? We can show that one too.
And so we also used the Creative Labels die set for our sentiment.
And like Dawn said, there's so much more on the stamp set. So you're not even seeing a portion of what's on that stamp set.
So much more on the stamp set. And then I used the previously released Leafy Splendor 3D embossing folder. So we can see here, you've got those leaves in the background. So that's what I used for that. And then I used the stencil here with the 3D embossing folder, that Leafy Splendor 3D embossing folder. So yeah, I mean, pretty minimal supplies too.
And that it just shows the versatility though of these products in that you can bring the old ones back, you can put them with the new, and they work flawlessly together.
Yep, I agree. All right.
Oh, yes. Carol said she's excited to get this in her crafty hands. You will, like, when this comes, like, book the day, because you're going to need it just to drool over the supplies that are in this amazing kit. They're fantastic. And I think it's more special because the instructors had, they had input and they helped with the products. And so it makes it that much more special, I think, for this event as well. The One Go is part of the retreat. Yes. So if you want to get the One Go or the creative labels as well, those are exclusive to the retreat kit.
Yes, the kit, that One Go too. And I haven't even shown you the stamp set. So
And
there
there's
is
a lot of
set.
sentiments on there. If you want to show, do you have the stamp set near you? If you want to show the stamp set for that, because that was the product we showed today. If you want to show the stamp set.
I do actually. Hold on.
Yeah. That way you guys can see there's a lot of sentiments on that. It's not just the flowers and those two sentiments. So it's lots of great sub sentiments to coordinate with your two bolded sentiments there.
Yeah.
And so many, like thankful for you. Thank you very much. Lots of different occasions as well. So really, really love that.
And they are correct. They're not mirrored.
Yes, they are correct. Your stamp set will not be mirrored. We promise. Yes,
it's just my camera.
It just the technical gnomes get in there, but on retreat day we use a different platform, and we do tests with the instructors before the retreat to make sure everything's all set and everything's perfect for you. Again, you get the recordings. So just a quick rundown of the retreat. You can go and find out more on our page at Altenew, which the link has been put in by the fabulous hand quite a bit today, along with the code Live Dawn. You can go check that out. But we have the 6 fabulous instructors, which if I start out of order, I mess up. So I've got to go Christina, then we have Tasneem, then we have Yana, then we have Dawn, we have JC, and we have Mindy. So we have those 6 plus the special crafting session with Jennifer McGuire on May 18th. Yes, we will get the new Mark Your Calendar out. Thank you for letting us know, Anne, for that. And we'll also change our introduction for our lives as well to February. And so for going to the retreat, what happens? There are live Q&A sessions with the leadership team throughout the 2 days. It is now 2 days. If you have gone to our events in the past, we usually only did 1 12-hour day. We're now doing 2 days, May 3rd and 4th, as well as that crafty session on the 18th I mentioned. Beautiful PDFs and an event package that will drop your jaw and you will reach for again and again. The Facebook page has started. So if you have, and I believe they send out emails sending you the link to that group. So make sure to check that, or you can search on Facebook, answer the questions, which the questions, you need your email address and you need your order number, which you can all find in your Altenew account to put there so that we know who you are and we can let you in, because the retreat, the Facebook group is exclusive. The only way you get in there and share all this amazing stuff with the instructors is to actually come to the retreat with us. So, but we do hope to see you there. Dawn, do you want to do your face?
I can. Give me 1 sec.
Well, Dawn's going to switch locations. Oh, first retreat. Very exciting. It's just exciting overall to whether it's your first retreat or your 75th retreat, whichever number you're at. It's always very exciting, but we love to see friends new and old coming with us. Beth Ann Johnson's a little upset her stamp set's not mirrored. She was hoping for Gibsug. It's her favorite greeting.
I don't know what happened. Like, I've literally never had that happen. And I wasn't using the front camera. I was using the regular back camera. Like, what in the world?
It's Beth Ann, you made my day. I like that. That's going to be one of my favorite comments of all time in all the time of moderating. I love that. That's awesome. Maybe in the future, we can consider that.
Yeah, well, just a bunch of garbly-gook.
We'll get some mirrored sentiments, so people will be like, what? Like, what does that say? Although it's fun with your eyes sometimes to try to figure out what it says when it's I live alone. That's my excuse. I have weird hobbies.
Sometimes a challenge is fun.
We like challenges. That's why we're card makers, because every card is a new challenge and we have so much fun. Dawn, thank you so much, for joining us for this retreat, because it's crafty wizardry and magical, as Han said, to have you with us and to take part in projects with you and just be part of that with you. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. And look, there's my proof. My
It's
proof of
beautiful.
my
Look how
chaos.
beautiful. That is
No, it's
gorgeous.
chaos.
I would probably be on an episode of Hoarders if you saw my desk. So we're not going to show. That's why I'm in my work office. It's not the crafty one. I can't show you. It's downstairs. That's my defense, and I'm sticking to it.
I'll allow it.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for making time today to come craft with us and have a chat. And to our fabulous participants, as always, thank you for making these so fun. These wouldn't happen without you. The retreats wouldn't happen without you. So we're so grateful you come, you have laughs with us, and we learn things every time we craft with you, and you inspire us. So thank you. Please keep coming and chatting. We love to see you. Reminder about Tasneem's live tomorrow at 3. You can go to the Altenew YouTube page under live, and you can click, I think it's remind me, and it will let you know that it's going to happen at 3 on there, but you can see it posted. So, and there's going to be some big stuff revealed. So make sure you tune in to see what Tasneem's going to be sharing with us tomorrow. It's very exciting. And again, Dawn, thank you so much. We can't wait to see you it's a couple months, but it's going to go by so fast. So, but we can't wait to see you.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to see all of you virtually, of course. Yes. I can't wait to do the class. I'm very excited about the projects in class. So
it's hard when you make the projects and you're like so excited, and then you got to wait.
You know, right? And then you get into it live and you're like, wait. What, how did I do that again? No.
Why did I do this? This is why it's good for the PDFs, for the instructors and the participants, because you remember what you did. So it's always good. So,
yep.
And thank you so much to all of you from all of us at Altenew for allowing us to help you craft your life. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Tasneem's. Bye, everyone.